Uh, I read a history about a couple, young couple. They was boyfriends from high school. You know, that kind of boyfriends that uh, they was deeply in love between them. So they promised themselves to be faithful, to love each other, to be, kind, to be sweet, all the relationship. So the relationship grow from year to year until they go to college, different college, but they keep the promise that to be faithful. So one day he went to visit her in another city because he has a surprise for her. So he went to the campus. Maybe he spoke with many people inside the campus, so everybody knows about what's going on, but no, she have no idea about what will happen this afternoon. So when everything was ready, the sounds, the speakers of the campus just began to call her name, and okay, she answers. She went to the office, and just in the principal or the authority of that part of the university was waiting for her. He left the office, and then she was sitting in the office, and he came in, and he proposed her to get married. So that's what, exciting, sweet, and all that marvelous thing that we do when we are in love, when we are boyfriends. And they made the commitment to get married in 6 months. So they began to do the, how you say this? The wedding plans and all that stuff. Something happened. Oh, they make the invitations. They make all the process that you had to do for the food, for the place, the church, the pastor, all the party, all the plans was ready to this wonderful couple marriage. 3 months later, after she said yes, she was driving her car. She has a very terrible car accident. She lost 95% of her capacities to walk, to do her life by herself. So she cannot move, she cannot talk, her face was not the same, everything in her life changed. So everybody was waiting that he left because he's a young guy with a great future, with a good condition. So he was ready to begin a good life with a complete woman. But he decided that he has a promise to fulfill. So maybe not at the same time, because her treatments, medical situation, medical appointment, they had to move the wedding, and they get married. And they get married, and he take care of her. And of course, they are not a normal couple. They cannot just go to the beach and do this and do that. But somebody, after 2 years, the marriage, somebody asked him, how do you feel? Why do you do that? And he said, because I love her and I made a promise. And I need to fulfill this promise. This is a history that really looks like a movie history, because in the real life, sometimes we see something totally different. We are living in a culture that don't fulfill promise. We are in a culture when your words have no value. If you say, in my country, we're having some problem with that. But I had an idea. I don't want to be not respectful to you, to your culture. I'm so respectful. But in my country, we had an idea that in America, all the people word is, that. If you say 10 p.m., 10 p.m., if you say that, I'm learning that not everybody is here. I'm here 10:30, and there is people still coming church, not on time. So that's still tell me that if you don't do in church, what else? But not only in that situations, in different situations in our life, I will be there and I'm not there. I'm doing this. But what about those promises or those words that I gave? God, I will do that. God, I will do this. I promise. And sometimes we say promise with our mouth. Sometimes we say promise with our heart. But we say promise. God, if you do that, I will do that. And sometimes the time just passes and we forget about our promise. So I was trying to find a title for this, talking, this sermon, whatever you want to call. And it was really hard because I don't know if in English that makes sense. So I will ask you help me to put a title to put in YouTube next week. My title is A Man of His Word. But I don't want the women feel, how can I can put that title that everybody can feel part of this? A man of his word, a person of his word, people of their word. How can I say that? A man of his word is okay? In my country, if you say a man of his word, everybody will understand that it's for everybody. It's okay? So, Brother Jeremy, a man of his word. This is the title of this talking. A man of his word. There is many people in the word of God that you can just find to learn about how to be a man of his word. But there is one specific man that I want to talk about him tonight. It's Moses. There is a moment in the Israel, in the Jew people, that they have the greatest opportunity to fulfill a promise. Okay, after 430 years of afflictions, to live like slaves in Egypt, God do greater things to deliver them. That's something great, I never tire. I never be tired to watch 10 Commandments movie. I love it. Charlton Heston movie. I love it. Maybe it's Hollywood and all, whatever you want, but I love it because in some part of the movie, I just feel like part of the history when he opened the sea, the blood in the river. There is a specific moment when God send the people and give favor. I want you to open your Bible in Exodus chapter 12, verse 36. Maybe we can read from 35. And 36 say, "Now the children of Israel have done according to the word of Moses, and they had asked from the Egyptians article of silver, article of gold, and clothing. And the Lord hath given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they granted them what they requested. Thus they plundered the Egyptians." That's powerful verse. So the people that live like a slave without nothing, you know that? You know that. They was owner of nothing. Even their self was a Egyptian property. So, but suddenly they have to leave this pain place, the pain, side, and they have to live not only with their freedom, but with silver, gold, clothing. And the verse 36 say that God gave them favor. If for everything they asked, the Egyptians gave them. So you can imagine that? Favor. It's good to have favor. I had favor with because it's very good friend of pastors, Kathy, manager or wherever at Region Bank. I had favor with her because every time I went there and I need something, she's really, really kind. So it's maybe because pastor gave me some favor with her. Or she needs to take care of pastor, good, so she needs to take care of me. But I had favor with some people because somebody else. I had favor, for example, God do something really good. American church, this American Hispanic church is really big. So I have 5 overseers on the whole of the country. But no, I have no friends here. It's only David Ramirez that he is a Latin American. So he's the boss in Latin American. But right here, I have no people, no connection. So just last week, I received a message from a very, very good friend. And he was the principal director of the seminary in Ecuador. And he preached in my church. And he was the overseer in California. And he just received the appointment to be the overseer right here. So it's actually our supervisor. And he's supervisor of 5 states. And he's my very good friend. I don't want to say that, okay, I had something political in process. No, I'm not saying that. It's my friend. And he say, I'm ready to eat plantain. Because he knows that I eat plantain. So what he don't know is I'm not fine plantain right here. But I will. Maybe I had favor with him. Maybe I had favor with Sister Pity because she can cook very good taco soup. So because I had favor with her, she already cooked it in her house and he gave us to eat taco soup. Taco soup? Taco soup. So, but can you imagine to have favor because God? Oh my goodness. This is good. This is good to have favor because God. So, God give them favor to ask whatever they want. What do you ask if you are in their shoes? You have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do, to ask whatever you want to ask. You know what? What I say that? If because somebody gives you silver, their gold, and their clothing, they can give everything. Because their people love their money. If they take out money, they can take out everything. So if they take out, they just give gold, give silver, and give clothing, they can just give everything. So in this situation, maybe I want to invite you to think about what you can ask or what you can do. Maybe we had 1,000 things we can do with this specific favor for this specific day. Then when just God say, okay, you have the favor, move whatever you want to move, ask whatever you want to ask, and the big people began to looking for gold, silver, and clothing. Oh, it's not my size, doesn't care, just take it, just take it. And I'm really sure, because the Bible say, in the nearly future, when Moses was in the Mount Sinai, they was preparing just lamb, gold. So they had gold. They had a lot of gold. Even they can use, for bad things. But let's talk up later about that. So they had a lot. So they was carrying a lot of gold, silver, maybe animals, maybe, you know, something for the kitchen, something for... Okay, what I think is when the Bible just mentioned gold, silver, and clothing, it's because this is the most important things. But I think that they had, under that quality or that item, they had 1,000 things that they was carrying on. But they was very, very worried about what they had to carry for this trip. And you know what? I was concerning one day about what Moses was concerning about to carry on. Just the next chapter, chapter 13. Just the next. You know what Moses was carrying? Carry is okay to say? Holding? Carry? Chapter 13, verse 19. And Moses took the bonds of Joseph, one of your favorite person, with him. For he had placed the children of Israel under solemn oath. Oath is okay to say? Pronounce? Can you read that for me, Pastor? Nineteen, yes.
And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, and he placed the children of Israel with a solemn oath, saying, God will surely visit you and shall carry up my bones from here with you.
There is a promise. You know who bring them to that place? Joseph. And Joseph gave them the best place to live, to sow, to have animals, the best place. So what happened is the next future, the next pharaohs just forget about Joseph. But because Joseph, they live a because Joseph, they survive. Because if Joseph don't give them that place to live, to sow, to grow their animals, probably they just die because they had no food, no rain. So just Joseph was saying to them, okay, I know one day God will visit you. So make a solemn oath, promise. This is a very sacred promise. This is special. And they normally take out their, this is a very, very interesting Jude tradition. They move their clothes and they say, touch right this part. And when they left them touch this part, it was very, really, really sacred thing. So Joseph let them somebody touch. You can search that in your Bible, and I'm not lying, And you'll say, okay, promise me, when God visits you, you will take my bonds and will carry with you. But the people was really worried about the gold, the silver, the clothing, that they forget that their parents or their grandparents or their grandparents received a very sacred promise. What happened? One thing is to carry, a bond. I don't know if in this country, maybe no. In my country, when somebody died, a very respectful way to say bye, to say bye to this friend that is going to the, cemetery, is to carry him in this part. I don't know if you do this in America. Maybe not all the way. Maybe just 4 blocks before the cemetery, just take out of the car and just carry it. It's a way to say that we respect him, We love him. We, we'll take care of his memory. So one thing is to carry 4 blocks. But what about to carry a bones of a dead for 40 years? You have to be a man of your word. If you carry a bones of a dead for 4 years. But look at that. This generation that they was filled or full with gold, silver, and clothing, and cows and wherever, they just spend their gold and silver in the desert. They never enjoy it. They build other gods with that gold. And they die in the desert. And they never see the promised land. But Moses, who carried on bones of the dead, a dead bone, I don't know how to say that in English. He just not only complete his mission, but he also stand up and saw with his eyes the promised land. Why he don't come in? I had a very good explanation that convinced me why he don't come in. Maybe we don't convince you, but this is another preaching. So come next Wednesday and I will explain you. This is my opinion, But this is a man that when the Bible in the Transfiguration's mountain, I don't know if I'm translating good, when Jesus go to the mountain and he find with the two more important men of the Old Testament, who will Jesus find in the mountain? Moses and Elijah. What does that mean? That Moses become one of the most important person for God. Not because he make a very successful entrance in the promised land. No, maybe not. Maybe because he built a very powerful army. No, maybe not. Maybe because he was just a very good preacher. No, he has a little problems to talk. Because he was a man of his word. There is a problem today in our communities. We are losing the value of our words. But I'm not only speaking about the words of our mouth. I also say about those words that came from our hearts sometimes in some moments in our life. When we are facing situation and we just say, God, if you deliver me of this situation, I just will worship you. Oh God, if you provide me a job, I will begin to pay in tithes. Lord, if you just heal me of this sickness, I will quit my addiction. Oh Lord, I will just stop to talk bad about somebody else. And just the situation pass. And we forget about our words. And this is a generation that never see the promised land. I'm 33 years old. And I lie if I say that all my promise I accomplish, I fulfill. No. Maybe I am the bigger sinner in this place. Maybe. But one day, I learned something. If that you promise God to serve Him, you will serve Him anyway. Why I say this? Because when I go to Santo Domingo for my first time, before that, I was enjoying a very, very good time pastoring in Ambato, another city. You know my pastor, my mentor, Pastor Guillermo Vascon. He came here last year and he preached for you. Oh, you know, and I just say, my wife and I tell him, Pastor, that God is so good with me because Pastor Guillermo is just like Pastor David. They are really, they don't look like similar, you know. He's a little brown, but they're cold. He's a man of his word, and he teach me so much. And one day, when I was receiving a notification about to move to another city, I was thinking about not go because I was feeling good salary, and good house, and good everything, good results. Because I received 3 young people in that time, and the church I put 60. So I began to be teaching in the seminary, chaplain in the orphanage, different jobs, different salaries, different successful things. So I was feeling good. So one day I received an offer to move me another city, and I said, Pastor, the overseer called me to do this. What do you think? And he said, No. Now, this is very good salary offer you, but I don't feel good with that, and I don't think so. So every time I receive something, he say, no, you don't go, you stay here. So, but this time was the worst salary. My salary in the Santo Domingo, you know how much money was? $200. With wife, pregnant wife. Only the rent was $110. I have to survive with 90. So what I say is, Pastor will say, no way. You know what he say? Yes, this is the time. You have to go. But he went with his car. He take his car, put Betsy and me in the car. Okay, let's go to Santo Domingo. The one thing he told me, I never want a call from you telling me that you will quit. I will bring you here. I bring you here. If you have to give your life in this place, you will. You have to give everything because it's God calling you. So, we face very, very difficult times. We face very hard times. Economic, emotional, political, different situation that we was really just quick. But I remember the voice of my pastor telling me, it not only telling me, showing me, he was 17 years working with the Indians people in the Indians community. You know what? He is a brave man. He worked 17 years. He was to preach an hour sermon. Sometimes he has to walk 11 hours, 8 hours to walking to go and preach, and he do it for 17 years. And you know why he's not anymore after 17 years? Because somebody in Cleveland say, there is too much time, just say bye to him. And they say, okay, Guillermo, it's enough time, we will send somebody else. And this is true. And he said, okay. And he began a new church. He planned a church, and he became a very successful pastor with his church. But now, this area, the Indians area, has 6 different overseers. They quit after 1.5 years. What I learned from him, is that you have to be a man of your word. So we stayed 10 years in Santo Domingo. Of course, the last year was really good. Big church, good salary, good things. But the first 6 years, maybe, or 7 years, was very hard times. And I learned that, and I moved because God called me to move. Sometimes, I want to be honest, sometimes I don't understand why He moved me. But last Saturday night, when those 2 families received Christ, I received a very, powerful voice from heaven saying, that's why. That's why. And I want to invite you to think about that. Are you a man of your word? Are you a woman of your word? Not me, no pastor. God can just trust in your word or not. I learned tonight that the gold, the silver, and the cloth someday disappear. But the joy, the success, the peace, and the power that bring the fulfilled promise will never finish. Even your generation, even your next generations will enjoy your fulfillment of promise. And I'm so proud to be in this church. I don't know many people here. I know faces, some names, but after almost 4 months to be here, I thank God because God sent me to a place with his pastor is a man of his word. So I need to ask myself, what about me? And maybe just give me a 20 seconds authority to ask you, what about you? Are you a man of your word? Are you a woman of your word? Or you forget about your promise to your family, to yourself, to God after some situations? We need people. We need a man of his word. Amen?